Triple disaster in the mid-Pacific. Just when we'd thought we'd survived the worst that the ocean could throw at us, it had other plans. Fresh out of a monster storm, battered but unbroken, 3 new disasters strike in rapid-fire succession. Our steering begins to fail, loosen and threatening to give way when we need it the most. Then, out of nowhere, the captain is injured, a leg injury that could cripple his fitness, and as the ocean wanted one final laugh, our brand new Oxley spinnaker explodes on the captain's watch. It's never happened to him before, and it hits him hard. Morale sinks, tension rises, and the ocean keeps testing. How do we cope when everything is falling apart, miles from help, surrounded by nothing but shifting seas and sky? Kick off your shoes, come barefoot with us, into the heart of the mid-ocean chaos. This is life at sea, for real.
So we've pushed through the heart of this monster storm, and it's worth saying clearly, the entire time we were sailing into it, upwind, nose first, hammering straight into the waves at roughly 60 degrees to the wind. Not running with it, not riding the swells, we were taking every hit head on. Why? Because Rich, the owner, had a hard deadline. He had to reach Tonga to catch a flight back to work. And while we could have eased off, turned downwind or even hove to and waited it out, that would have cost us 2 or maybe 3 days. And missing that window meant Rich wouldn't have got back on time. And here's the thing. Viewers might not realize it, but sailing into a storm is a completely different beast from riding with it with the wind behind you. It's harsher, louder, and dramatically more punishing. Every wave tries to stop you. Every gust tries to throw you back. But now, the pressure isn't over. We might be through the storm, but we're racing the clock. We need to deliver Rich to Tonga on schedule. That means pushing the boat hard, squeezing out every knot we can to make up the time we lost while battering our way through that chaos. So let's see just how fast we can get this little baby moving.
Okay guys, so this is sunrise on day 7, I think, but the wind is blowing around 18 knots and it's a glorious day. We are now in the southeasterly trade winds after that horrible blow or storm that was disrupting everything, giving us everything, and even westerly winds from completely the wrong direction. Now we have been at sea for I think it's around 7 days, but since leaving Tahiti we have not seen land at all, and we haven't seen any boats and not heard anybody on the radio since the first day. So it's quite amazing really how empty this South Pacific is, and if you look around behind me, as you will see, absolutely nothing apart from horizon. We are sailing along under full Genoa and full main. There you go. And you can also see the full moon, it's still there. Still there. Absolutely glorious. 8 knots, 9 knots and 10 knots. I'm hoping we're averaging 9 knots, but we'll see at the end of my shift. But we are just powering along. And it's so nice to be able to sail this easily at this speed and really not do anything with the sails. So time for breakfast. I'm all by myself. It's about 7:30, everybody else is sleeping.
So guys, just a reminder to like, subscribe and ding the notification bell, because then you get notified when a new video comes out.
So we are having problems with the... Okay, thanks.
As the famous saying goes, Houston, we have a problem. Our steering had started acting up, loose, clicking under load, and clearly slipping. The chain was starting to jump over the cogs, and if it kept doing that in the same direction, we'd eventually lose the ability to steer completely. Not ideal in the middle of the Pacific. We first noticed it during the storm when the rudder was under massive tension, but now the seas had finally settled, we needed to dive in and fix it before things got out of hand. As you can see, the chain was loose, flopping around far more than it should. And with that much slack, it's no surprise it was trying to climb over the teeth of the wheel. The setup is a lot like tensioning an alternator belt. One end of the chain sits on cogs that can be shifted by loosening bolts and pulling the whole aluminium frame further apart to increase the tension. But, and this is classic boat engineering, you can't actually see those parts while working on them. The view you're seeing now is only thanks to a camera being shoved deep into the cramped space. The real job has to be done completely by feel, arms stretched high above my head, fingers searching for the bolts I couldn't see, loosening them blindly and then tightening them again using touch alone. Unless you're tiny enough to crawl into that space, this is the only way. It took several attempts to get the tension just right, and after a couple of hours of trial and error, we finally felt confident that we'd nailed it. Still, you always finish a job like this wondering, will it hold? Did I line up the cogs properly? Did I miss something small that could turn into something big? Thankfully though, once everything was back together, the steering worked perfectly for the rest of the trip to Fiji. Crisis averted this time.
We are John and Ellie the Barefoot Doctors, and we're taking you with us from the first spark of an idea to sailing the most breathtaking corners of the planet. So, join us on this journey because life is better barefoot.
Yeah.
No, I was going to put it on the hook.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Okay.
It's hard on a big rope like that. It's easy.
And so always, because the straight's going to be taken here, you're almost right. Grab it, twist it, grab your, no, not underneath. Keep your little flag. Okay?
Oh, look at it. Okay, honey, what's just happened?
I feel like a real deal because I've done this before at night, walking along the side decks. There's an open hatch, and while earlier on I've done a few trips up to the mast and back and I knew it was there, this time I just went forward quickly to put a barber hauler on the Genoa, and as I stepped back into the, I'm quickly coming back to finish off the job, and I forgot about the open hatch. My right leg went straight down through the hole and connected my shin on the front metal edge of the aluminium frame, and I've ripped about 4 centimeters of skin off my shin again. In fact, I think that's the, is that the scar?
From last time.
I think that's the scar from the last time. Before was that. So I got my leg a bit further down this time before I hit. I keep on telling people, just be careful if there's open hatches. You just got to take things a bit slower. So it's naturally elastic, so it tends to come back up to the top. So just gently push it down. So now that's covering most of the wound. And if you can cover all the gaps, then obviously there's less skin to grow. I can't fill that bit out because I think this is...
You better go back to the hatch and try and scrape it off the hatch.
So now we just put a pressure dressing on that, a clean, dry, non-stick dressing, and then a bandage to apply pressure and hold those skin flaps in place until it, like a graft, it'll heal from the underneath and the skin will attach. Diagonally like that. And I want to pull a bit of tension and then stick it down on the other side. So that in itself gives a little bit of compression. Really irritating when I do stupid accidents, but it will heal up easily. So there is the end result. It looks quite kind of neat. Anytime you got a wound, clean the wound with disinfectant, whatever you got, iodine or alcohol at the time of the injury. After the first injury, don't keep on using more disinfectant because the disinfectant kills the growing cells in the wound. So disinfect it once, and after that dry dressings and leave it alone. Don't be tempted to keep putting more and more disinfectant on. The only time you need to clean it with disinfectant after the original injury is if you're getting yellow pus. If that's happening, that has to be cleaned away, and then you can use disinfectant. But apart from that, keep it clean and dry. It'll heal much faster, guys.
That is the hatch I fell through to cause this wound on my leg. So obviously everybody either close the hatches or pay more attention when you're walking around the decks in the middle of the night.
So we enjoyed those 15 to 20 knot trade winds while they lasted, but as the storm moved more to the east and we progressed more to the west, the winds progressively died. As they fell down to 10 to 15 knots, this became perfect Oxley weather. So we got ready to put the Oxley up, which we had prepared from its brand new packing while we were waiting in Tahiti. The way we did this was to hoist it with the halyard, with the sock over the top of it, so the gravity just pulled it out straight.
Pretty schmancy.
Okay, that's fine for that. And just lock it off. Take off the spinnaker halyard.
But of course, with the first hoist, I was worried there might be tangles, twists in the sail, and it could hoist with a big knot in the middle. As she went up, it was a bit stiff in the middle, where the wing is, but with a bit of gentle encouragement, we managed to get over the hump, and the sail opened beautifully.
Okay, tighten the sheet.
The red sheet.
No,
Green.
the green one.
Tighten the green.
one.
Tighten the green one.
Okay, that's enough.
There's nothing more spectacular than seeing an Oxley flying open, filling with wind. You feel the boat speed leap forward. Such a wonderful sight.
To trim the Oxley, you basically let the sheet out until the front edge, which on this is the port side on this tank, it just starts to curl in a bit and starts to luff. And then if it flicks out and holds it, then that's about the right position.
So just this sheet
pull
that side.
You pull this one in tighter if it's luffing to pull it flatter, and then it's just about right.
Okay.
It could probably do with a little bit of, let's pull it in just a little bit to stop there. And then it comes down. Apparent wind is 7 or 8 knots, boat speed is 6 knots, and that is because we are flying the Oxley. So we are at the end of day 8, we are day 8 or 9, I can't remember. We are a day and a half away from Tonga, having avoided that storm, and the winds are now more like standard trade winds, soft and persistent southeasterlies, gentle seas, and champagne sailing. Who's got the champagne?
So we sailed on with the Oxley into the sunset, the wind only 7 to 12 knots. And remember, we have a deadline to meet. We need to keep the boat moving as much as we can. I felt quite comfortable leaving the sail up through the night. The skies were clear, there was no hint of any thunderstorms or storm clouds, so we sailed on through the night with the Oxley.
It's about midnight, we had a few rain clouds coming through, so we took the Oxley down just in case. There wasn't any strong wind anyway, so just precautionary, and we could have left it up, but it's not worth the risk. However, we have it back up, and hopefully you can see the glorious sight probably what's most important is we're doing 8.3 knots, going 150 degrees to the wind, dead on course for where we're going, which is Tonga.
A few hours later, you can see that our track is significantly off course from the direction to Tonga. Tonga is the spotted white line, and the direction the boat is heading is the blue line. The wind was now about 10 to 12 knots, and so to get our course back on track, we had to tighten in the sail, go at a higher angle to the wind. This was great sailing, doing 9 to 10 knots, and we were making really good time. It was my watch, and Elizabeth was up on deck with me, and everything was absolutely glorious. The boat was sailing under auto-helm, and the 3-hour watches were very easy to manage. But with boats, things can change very quickly. The wind luffed, coming slightly in front of us, so the sail collapsed down for a few seconds, flopping down towards the trampoline. I pulled on the sheet to refill the sail, but in the second as the sail filled, there was a huge crack, and a second later the sail was flying horizontally behind the boat. A horrific sight that no captain ever wants to see. Of course, we're flying the Oxley without a main, so all of a sudden the boat speed drops. Because Elizabeth was with me, very quickly we pulled down the sheet and the sail just collapsed down onto the front deck, and we surveyed the damage. Here you can see a very straight cut of sail where the windward corner was completely sheared off from the rest of the sail, and I just felt sick in my stomach. I have never ever had that sort of thing happen to me before. While we were sailing high up into the wind, about 100 or 110 degrees, which does put extra force on the sail, the winds were only 12 to 13 knots, so well within the normal range. I presume this must have happened as the sail collapsed. It then just caught on the A-frame stainless wire and then just cut itself as it went tight. We hoisted the main and the jib to get sailing again and despondently packed away the brand new Oxley sail that I had now destroyed. Of course, we did have spinnaker tape and stitches that I could repair it with, but I would leave that till the next day. And the next day I had the most awful job of explaining to Rich and Beck that I had had this accident with their brand new sail in the middle of the night. And the worst thing about this whole situation is that this was their only new sail, and we had been flying it for less than 24 hours. How embarrassing. Let us know in comments if you think Oxley should never be sailed at night, and if you think this contributed towards the accident, and if any of you have had this same accident happen to you. In every situation you try to learn stuff, and the main learning here is to make sure you keep your light spinnakers and Oxleys off your stanchion wires at the front of the boat, because if there's any tension, the sharp wire can cut the sail. Depressing.
Nice.
Oh my god, first passage. Land ahoy! Woohoo!
So here we are coming into Tonga. You can see the island over there with beaches running for miles. And on the north side of us is little islands and reef. That is all very shallow, can't go there at all. On the map it looks very kind of ominous. Down here is the island. We do a little bit of a dog leg up the channel there because we can't cross over in that direction. And I think over there in the distance past these little islands is the main town of Nuku'alofi, I should say. I think that's the way you pronounce it. So we have done 1,500 nautical miles to get from Tahiti to Tonga, and during that time we have caught 4 fish. 3 fish about that size, which are flying fish, and 1 flying fish about that size. Despite hanging our lures out the back pretty much all the way. I've changed the lures a couple of times just to see if the fish like a different color, but I've had absolutely no luck on this leg, so I keep my fingers crossed for the next leg to Fiji.
For all the dramas on board and for all the storms we face in life, out here, beneath the endless canopy of space and starlight, everything suddenly falls into insignificance. There are no city lights bleeding into the sky out here, no glow on the horizons, just darkness, pure, untouched. And stars so bright, so sharp, it feels as though you are seeing them for the very first time. And if you could just reach out, stretch out your fingers and pluck them from the heavens. There is no noise, no cars, no machines, no human hum in the distance, only soft, hypnotic rhythm of the ocean, the gentle rush of the water curling along the hulls as we glide, almost weightless, across the quiet, breathing planet. Moments like these carve themselves into you, not as memories but as something deeper, experiences so rare that the words will never quite hold them. The silence, the stillness, the solitude, alone but never lonely, disconnected from the world yet profoundly connected by something greater than it and greater than us. In these moments, an overwhelming sense of appreciation rises in your chest, a reminder that out here, far from everything, you can finally feel everything, and it changes you quietly, beautifully, and forever. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and thanks to our awesome Patreons whose money helps us save lives around the world. Please make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so you don't miss out on any of the exciting upcoming episodes. Hold on to your dreams because like the wind in the sails, they propel you towards endless possibilities.